Hey everyone, my name is Manav. Let's start the JavaScript deep fundamental course. Jai Shri Ram. Okay, so thank you so much for enrolling in this course. The purpose of this course is basically to enlighten yourself with JavaScript deep fundamentals. It is not a basic course of JavaScript which tells you about the data types or JavaScript DOM models, React, or high level things, but it's actually a deep fundamentals. We will cover how JavaScript works. Okay, JS engine, JavaScript engine. Okay, some fundamental concepts like execution, context, and so on. So okay, let's start. So how JavaScript works? So JavaScript is basically a single process, single threaded language. Single threaded high level language. So basically this is by default. We can customize it by default. What it means is when we start a JavaScript program, let's say we have a file called main dot sorry js, so we pass it to a JavaScript runtime environment. Okay, and so in this it is converted to machine code, what we called as the 0101, the things. Okay, and these are then executed uh, instruction by instruction. Every instruction is executed one by one, so this means this. Okay, so and also we can only pass only one file to a JavaScript runtime environment. That means if we have 10 JavaScript files, so we have 1.js, 2.js, similarly 10.js. These are actually bundled into a single file. This is done by a popular bundler tool. So bundler tools basically, examples are Webpack. So they basically combine multiple files into a single file in an optimized way. Reduce optimized means it minimizes the code, it removes the spaces, it removes the duplicate code. So they are very popular bundling tools. Webpack. Okay, so a single file is passed to a JavaScript runtime environment, then that's converted into a machine code, and then executed is one by one, instruction wise. This runtime environment has the JavaScript engine. So basically it is the actual program which executes or is converts and executes the JavaScript program. Okay, so common examples of JavaScript runtime environments are Node.js, which is a server-side JavaScript runtime environment. Then we have web browsers. There could be a Chrome in Edge. Okay, so now these runtime environments might not have common JavaScript engines. Remember that JavaScript runtime environment and JavaScript engines are both different. So if I'll show diagram depicting this. So let's say this is the JavaScript engine. So a runtime environment is a wrapper around the engine. Okay, so it has JavaScript engine basically has the fundamental code, fundamental work, the common JavaScript which runs across multiple environments, that has capabilities. But there could be other capabilities like server APIs. If you are running the JavaScript at server side, there could be browser APIs. So So that depends, like the web browsers have the browser APIs, and the server APIs are there in Node.js. So this is the basic thing. Okay, so common JavaScript environments are Node.js, web browsers. Okay, uh, common JS engines are V8, which is developed and maintained by Google. Chakra, okay, which is I think maintained by Microsoft. Safari also has a I think spider monkey kind of JavaScript engines. Okay, so as I told you, JavaScript engine and JavaScript runtime environments are different, so there could be different combinations of the both. So basically, the JavaScript file goes to the runtime environment. There, the server APIs are converted to native JavaScript code, and then finally, JavaScript engine converts them into the machine code, and this is then sent to the CPU for being executed instruction by instruction. So this is the high level working of JavaScript files. Let's start when we write JavaScript code. Okay, so let's say we have a file main.js, and then we have console.log1, console.log2. Then we have a function. Let's say we have a function. Okay, console.log a. Then let's call a b function inside it. Function b. Console.log b. Then let's call the a function finally. So we do have first the a is called, then inside that b is called. Okay, so what really happens is whenever JavaScript file goes into the JS runtime environment, right? So for every file, an execution context is created. What is an execution context? It is basically a memory space, nothing else. Okay, so I'll give a short form EC. Okay, so for every file there is a global execution context, so I will name it as GEC. Okay, G means global execution, global. This memory space is divided into two parts. Okay, one is the variable environment. I mean, this is just a name. Okay, so and then we have the instruction environment. What basically this means is all the variables in that scope are basically defined over here. Okay, first of all, they would be collected and defined over here with the default value of undefined. Okay, so let's say we have a variable as well. Let variable 1 is equal to 2, variable 2 equals to 3. Okay, I hope this is clear. So variable 1, var 1 would be undefined, var 2 would be undefined. Okay, got it. Now once all the variables are collected and given the undefined value by default, then the instruction environment starts. So this basically executes all the instruction in that scope one by one. It's very simple. Got it? So all the instructions are executed one by one. Also there are references to the functions as well. So we do have an a function and a b function, right? So basically So the code is basically here a and b. As you know that in everything is an object in JavaScript, so all the variables and the functions are basically in the variable environment. Okay, so we do have variable a, variable 2 over here. Then these two are instructions only, console.log, so they are not variables, so they are not considered. Then we have function, so function is put in the variable environment, and then function b is also put in the variable environment. So we have variable 1, variable 2, a and b. Okay, now once all the variables or functions are collected, now we move down the instructions environment, start its role, and it starts to execute all the instructions one by one. So what it first instruction is that it is assigning the value of variable 1 as 2. So it basically it assigns the value of 2, okay, to variable 1. Second is variable 2 assignment value 3. So again it basically updates the variable environment, and okay, so this is basically a hash map kind of a thing. Okay, key value pairs this variable environment. So then the instruction 3 comes, console.log 1. So this instruction is executed. Okay, console.log 1. So on the console we see 1. Second instruction, console.log 2. Simple as that. Done. Instruction 1 done, instruction 2 done, instruction 3 done, instruction 4 done. Okay, now we have the function definition of a. It is not called, it is just a definition, so this is ignored. Okay, so then function definition of b, this is also ignored. Now function a is called. Remember that execution context is always created on a JavaScript file and a function, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, so we had main.js. For this it is the global execution context. For this it is just a normal execution context, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, so we had main.js, global execution context was created, and hence you could see variable environment and the instruction environment, right? Now we have a function call, a is called over here, right? So another execution context will be created in this memory space. Okay, we have the variable environment, we have the instruction environment. Okay, again what it does is it collects all the variables and puts it in the variable environment with undefined values. So here only we have the console.log a, so no variables over here, and b function is called, so again no variables are here, right? Now let's zoom in a bit for I'll zoom in a bit. So we have the variable environment, instruction environment, console dot log a. It's a, right? In the function this is the instruction being called. Okay, so hence a is being called, and you can see a on the console. Now we can see the function b is called, hence whenever the function is called another ec is created. So another ec will be created, variable environment, instruction environment. So I'll zoom in this as well. So at this point of time we have 3 execution context in the memory space, right? One is the global execution context for main.js, one is the ec for function a, and one is the ec for function b, right? So this is actually the call stack. In every language there is a call stack, every function call is put into that stack, and hence JavaScript also has a call stack, we can see the first entry is always a global execution context of the file, then we have the A, and then we have the B. Okay, this is nothing but, these values are nothing but execution contexts. Okay, actually they are functions, but in technical terms we call them execution context. Now if we zoom in the EC of B as well, we find that we have a variable environment, we have an instruction environment. In the function B, when we go, we have only one instruction, console.log B, no variables, and hence this is empty, and the variable environment is empty, and we have console.log B. Okay, got it. So now we have three execution context, B, A, and global. Now as soon as we come out of function B, this function is exited. Now it has no value, function B, hence this execution context is actually cleared. Okay, you got my point. This whole memory space is freed up now. This is removed from the RAM or the memory of the system. I'll remove it. Yeah, okay. In the function A as well, we see there is no more instructions or no more variables, hence this memory is also now freed up. It is removed, and hence only the global execution context is remaining. After the A is executed from here, we also see this is the end of file, no more instructions, no more variables, hence the global execution context is also freed up. I hope this is clear. I'm sorry, why is this? Okay. Okay, so this is the JS call stack or JS function stack or a JS execution stack. Okay, I hope this is clear. So to summarize it, execution context are created not more not less than on the JS file, which is the global execution context, and on any function, which is a normal execution context. Execution context has two, is basically a memory space with two parts. One is the variable environment, then is the instruction. Okay, I hope this is clear. One more thing, as I said, JavaScript is a single process, single threaded language. By default, we need to, have some OS concepts that, whenever the JavaScript file is sent to a JavaScript runtime environment and then to a JS engine. So this basically creates a single OS process uh, with a single main, and hence we can spawn new. There could be a possibility, you can spawn new process or spawn new thread. For this you can learn about the processes and threads, how these things work in the operating system. So basically this is how it works diagrammatically. We know this JS process with the process ID goes to any of the core of the CPU and it start executing. You can also create a new thread or you can also create a new process. Okay, I hope this is clear. Please let me know if any comments or doubts or queries or suggestions. Happy to help. I'll go in the next lecture now. Thanks.